Have you? Have you felt it lately? You know, that sense that things are just off? There's this kind of anxious, chaotic energy in the air, a feeling that something is fundamentally weird about the world right now. Well, you're not imagining it. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this silent apocalypse that's messing with our heads, a lot of times without us even realizing it.
Right? It's the big question so many of us are asking. We feel more disconnected, more on edge, and honestly just less like ourselves. If your mind has felt kind of foggy lately, or you just feel like you're not really here, you are definitely not alone. Okay, let's get into this.
Now, I know that sounds super dramatic, but it really nails the stakes here. We're not talking about some literal end-of-the-world apocalypse, but a psychological one, a slow, creeping erosion of the very things that make us human. Our ability to focus, our memories, and yeah, eventually, our very sense of self.
So, what does this quote-unquote zombie apocalypse actually look like? We're not talking about monsters from the movies. We're talking about a contagious state of distraction, of emotional numbness that's just spreading like wildfire through our society.
Think about it. When was the last time you were in a crowded place like a mall or an airport? Did you feel that frantic, rushed energy? It's like people are less present, you know? Less human. A simple smile or a nod feels like it's met with suspicion. And online, we're supposedly more connected than ever, but somehow we're also more divided, more tribal, and more profoundly alone.
And this isn't just a vibe we're all picking up on. A 2022 study from King's College London found that nearly half, 49%, of all people feel like their ability to pay attention is way worse than it used to be. It's like a mass amnesia, and we're all experiencing it together. Okay, so here's where it gets really wild. How does this feeling spread? Well, the science is fascinating. A researcher named Molly Crockett showed that our brains have these things called mirror circuits. Basically, they cause us to unconsciously absorb and mimic the emotions of the people around us. That means that stress, that anxiety, that frantic energy, it is literally contagious. We're catching it from the crowd without even thinking about it, and it's turning us all into these distracted zombies.
All right, so if this is a contagion, where's it coming from? What's the source? In this next section, we are going to uncover the powerful external forces that have been systematically hijacking our most valuable resource, our attention.
Just look at this. This data from Dr. Gloria Mark is absolutely staggering. Back in 2004, we could focus on one thing for about 2.5 minutes. By 2012, that dropped to 75 seconds, and today, it's just 45 seconds. Think about that. Before we can even get into a deep thought, our brains are already itching for the next hit of stimulus. It's a total collapse.
In this chart right here, this shows you exactly where all that focus is going. The same research found that while most of us think we check our phones maybe 25 times a day, the reality is closer to 80. That is 3 to 4 times more often than we are even consciously aware of. Our attention has been chopped up into tiny little pieces without our permission.
And this leads to a really kind of disturbing question. We all believe we're in the driver's seat, right? Choosing what to watch, what to feel, what to care about. But what if all of that is being carefully curated for us? These algorithms, they know what makes you angry, they know when you're lonely, and they know what you secretly desire. They don't just show you stuff. By controlling what you pay attention to, they are literally building the person you are becoming.
And here is the crucial piece of the puzzle. Your brain doesn't just see reality like a camera. It's constantly predicting it. It makes a guess about what's out there and then uses your senses to check its work. Historically, those predictions were built from your real-life experiences. But now, they're being fed, trained, and shaped by algorithms. So the algorithm isn't just showing you content. It is hijacking the very process your brain uses to build your reality. It's fundamentally changing who you are from the inside out.
So this constant digital storm, it isn't just a social problem, it's a neurological one. Let's take a look at what is actually happening inside our brains when they are never ever allowed to rest.
You know that deep gut feeling of who you are, that inner compass? That's built on something called interoception. It's your nervous system's ability to sense its own internal state. But here's the catch. It needs one thing to work properly, and that one thing is becoming an endangered species in our world. It needs silence. When we are constantly bombarded by external noise, we lose touch with our own bodies. We lose touch with ourselves.
And chemically, our brains are on this destructive roller coaster. We're chasing that dopamine high from likes and notifications, right? But our brain tries to balance things out, so it actually reduces its natural dopamine production, which leaves us feeling empty and needing more. At the same time, studies show all this engagement keeps our main stress hormone, cortisol, chronically jacked up. So what starts as a fun hunt for a little pleasure, it ends in a state of permanent burnout.
And of course, this overstimulated state completely wrecks our sleep. And get this, after just one night of bad sleep, your amygdala, that's your brain's fear and anxiety center, it becomes a shocking 60% more reactive. You literally wake up more anxious, more irritable, and less able to handle things, which just makes you search for even more distraction to cope. It's a vicious, vicious cycle.
This quote from the author Johann Hari, it's just heartbreaking, and it sums it all up perfectly. See, without focus, our experiences don't get properly encoded into long-term memory. Our lives become like words written in disappearing ink. We don't just forget moments, we start to forget who we are.
Okay, but this is not a eulogy for the human mind. Not at all. It's a call to action. Because the most important thing to understand is that we can fight back. We can reclaim what was stolen from us.
This is the whole key. We go to the gym to train our bodies, we learn new skills for our jobs, but we just assume our attention will take care of itself. Well, it won't. Not anymore. In an environment that is designed from the ground up to fracture it, training your attention has become the single most important skill for everything, for your performance, for your relationships, and for your own peace of mind.
Okay, so here it is, a practical 4-step plan to start training that muscle. First, see the fog. This is just about awareness. The next time you find yourself in that trance, mindlessly scrolling, don't judge yourself. Just notice it. Oh, there I go again. That simple act of noticing is the beginning of waking up. Second, monotasking reps. Think of this like a bicep curl for your focus. Set a timer for just 10 minutes and do one single thing. No switching. Read a book, listen to an album, whatever. It will feel hard at first, but you are literally rebuilding that attention muscle. Third, presence in the banal. Be fully present during boring, everyday stuff. Pause for just 2 seconds and really taste your coffee. When someone's talking to you, just listen instead of planning your reply. These little acts of presence actually calm your nervous system. And finally, step 4, and this one is huge. Reclaim your mornings. Do not give the first hour of your day to your phone. That time is for you. Use it for silence, for setting an intention, for just breathing. It will set a calm, focused tone for the entire day.
And why does all this matter? Well, ancient wisdom traditions have taught for centuries that the whole point of life is to move from being a reactor to being an actor, to stop being lived by the world and to actually start living, to stop being an effect of your environment and start being the cause of your life. And that monumental shift? It's impossible without one thing: trained, deliberate attention.
The Stoic philosopher Epictetus knew this over 2,000 years ago. Your life is, quite literally, the sum of what you have paid attention to. So I'll just leave you with this question. In a world that is fighting for every second of your focus, what will you choose to become?